Hey peeps, Julian here from Disrupt Tutoring, and as always, it's such a pleasure to join you. Moving on to question 9 of IEB 2019 Maths Paper 2 Supplementary exam. It's another Euclidean geometry question. This one is a bit of a toughie because it's given us a diagram with a whole bunch of information as usual. And number A asks us to prove that triangle ANB, so this one over here, is similar to triangle CND. So it's this triangle over there. So to start off, we'll need to either prove it by angle, 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 or RHS, or side, 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 angle, side. And so using this information, let's see what we can do. Just remove the highlights so it can make things clearer. So from the information they've given us, let's start writing some of that down. So we have here that angle AMB equals 136, because that's given. They've also told us that this angle over here equals 22 degrees. That's given. And they've also told us that AN and BN are tangents to the graph. So that means that this angle A is 90 degrees and the angle B is 90 degrees because of the theorem tangents perpendicular to radius is equal to 90 degrees. So basically that means that if we write that down, it's angle AMN should equal angle MBN, which equals 90, and your reason here is that tangents are perpendicular to radius. Okay, so remember to always put down your reason, especially when doing a proof. So therefore we have 3 out of the 4 angles needed in this quadrilateral of, so basically in the quadrilateral NAMB, we can then see that we know that all those angles need to add up to 360 because angles of a quadrilateral equal 360 or sum to 360. So that means that if I name this angle here N1, so that means N1 plus 90 plus 90 plus 136 degrees should equal 360 degrees. And your reason here is that angles in a quad equal 360. So therefore we know that N1 should equal, if you work it out in your calculator, 44 degrees. And I got that by saying 360 degrees minus 90 minus 90 minus 136 equals 44. Okay. Moving on, we have that this angle N2, let's call it, over here, we know is 44 degrees because of the theorem angles at the center is equal to 2 times the angle at the circumference. So writing that down, we have that this is basically telling us that angle CND, which is your N2, equals 44 degrees. And your reasoning here is that angles at center equals 2 times the angle at circumference. Okay, So we know that that's also 44. So we can write that in. You can also conclude that this angle C and this angle D are equal because of radii. So that means that NCD equals NDC, and the reason being is radii, and they form an isosceles triangle. So isos triangle, and we can conclude that this angle A in this triangle and this angle B in the triangle, in that triangle, is also equal because of the theorem tangents drawn from a common point are equal. So we have that BAN equals NBA, and the reason being here, tangents drawn from common points. Cool. And knowing that this N1 is 44 that we calculated, that means, and they are both isosceles triangles, we can assume that these two angles are equal to each other, as well as these two angles are also equal because of angles of a triangle equal 180 degrees. This means that these two triangles are similar because of the reasons angle, angle, angle. So therefore, we can conclude that just what they asked us, triangle A in B is similar to triangle C in D, and your reason here is angle, angle, angle. Okay, moving on to question B. They've now said that if dn over an is equal to 27 over 25, calculate the length of AB. So this is dn over here over an, which is this line over here. And we can see that these two lines are part of the triangles that we proved to be similar in the previous question over here. So then we can conclude that because they are similar, it means that this line A or CD is also going to be proportional to AB. So therefore, we can conclude from that so we can conclude that dn over an should equal CD over AB. And your reason here can be that triangle A in B is similar to triangle CDN. So we know we have to solve for this line AB. So we'll need to calculate what this line CD equals. And if I change my highlighter here, we can see in this triangle CED, we can calculate CD because they've given us two sides and an angle. So from the list of things they've given us, they've told us that this angle over here, this angle over here is 22 degrees. They've given us that DE is 6,2 units, and they've told us that CE is 9 units. And from the formula sheet, we do know that the side A squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times cos of A. So if this 22 degrees is our angle A, it means that our side A needs to be CD. So therefore we can say that CD squared should equal, and we then will we also know that B squared will be this line, well, B will be CE, so we know that B squared is actually 9 squared, plus side C, which would be the 6,2, so 6,2 squared, minus 2 times by B, so we said that B is 9, C, which is 6,2, and then of course times by cos of 22. So put this entire thing into your calculator. I get that CD should equal, or CD squared should equal 15,966. So we find the square root of both sides, so we then know that the side CD should equal, and I put this in my calculator and I get just 3,99, which can be rounded up to 4 units. Cool. So now we know that CD over AB should equal 27 over 25, because as we stated at the top here, that CD over AB equals DN over AN, and they've given us that that equals 27 over 25. So now we've got an equation. We can substitute in 4 for CD, because we've just calculated that. Should equal 27 over 25. Do some algebra, so obviously it stays now AB then should equal 25 over 27 times by 4, which I get to be 3,7 units. And if you're confused how I got from this step to that step to find AB, just did some algebra. So you times both sides by AB and then get this fraction on the other side of the equal, so that means you need to inverse it, and then times by 4. And that's a wrap for question 9. Before I go, I'd like to, as always, give a special thanks to our sponsors for making this video possible. Be sure to read all about them in the description below. You can also visit our website for more of these questions. If you can't find the answer to the question that you have, be sure to send us your question and we'll respond to it with a personalized video just for you. And until next time, stay epic.